Hi, I'm Hasara Nwangi. We all know that customers are very important for a business. After all, the very existence of a business depends on its customers, as the reason to establish and operate a business is basically fulfilling their needs. In other words, businesses are there to serve customers. So to talk about customer service and handling customers, we have Mr. Ajmal Hussain, Assistant Manager, People Development and Service Culture Transformation at Dialog Axiata. Hello Ajmal.
Hi Hassan.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Now, I'm doing good. Now, Dialog is a large corporate serving over 14 million different customers with wide array of products and services. Now, when it comes to handling customers, how different it should be for micro, small, and medium scale entrepreneurs.
Absolutely. Dialog has about close to 14 million customers now, and we have got a framework of how we handle customers from corporate to individual. Any organization that is new or maybe experienced in the industry, it is very necessary, very needed at this point in time in our country where people are focusing on customer experience more than anything else. We are living in the age of social media where complaint is not told to just your friends but to the whole wide country. Social media has given anybody that reach. So it is very essential that every organization, regardless of the size, like I mentioned before, has an approach on how they manage their customers. How they manage them could be different from what a large organization is doing, but long story short, what every customer needs is good service and happiness at the end. They need to be delighted. So it depends on what the customer wants, building on to the fact that giving stuff on time, being punctual, making sure the customer gets what he wants and at the pace that he wants. That's important. The strategy that you may follow to give customer experience, the whole approach, the process and policies that you may design around it can change. But customer service would remain to be important for any organization regardless of size or its occupants. It's a major fact for me.
Right. Let's talk a bit about customer complaint. I'm sure you have many experience in this field. Now, when it comes to a customer who is dissatisfied or who has complained, and a customer who is satisfied or neutral, this is very different. Am I correct?
Absolutely. Handling these customers is very different. A customer who is neutral or is happy is going to be a breeze because they won't give you difficult questions to answer. Their emotion levels are quite okay. They're generally happy, and it's pretty much an inquiry that they have and a question that we need to answer to their specific inquiry. But on the other side, a customer with a complaint is going to come and face you with a completely different emotion. He's going to be angry, furious, maybe upset of the fact that we haven't done anything about his complaint, or we haven't sorted this problem out, or the fact that he thinks we just don't care. The approach is very different. Handling a customer who is happy, who does not have a complaint, anybody could do it because they say, but handling a customer who has a complaint needs some skill. That's why they say calm seas don't make great sailors. Only when you do come into a situation where you have a difficult customer, your real skill will come out. How do you handle them? Well, there are so many techniques or approaches that you would find if you Google them up. But some things that really work is in practice, customers do come to us with a lot of complaints. Some of them are furious, some of them are very neutral-minded when a complaint is said, some of them are angry, some of them are not. But what really matters is whatever they say, you patiently sitting on the other side, hear them out. Whatever they have to say. Sometimes customers start with a complaint, very furious tone. By the time they've told the story, they've mellowed down. They are very, very easy to handle. Hearing them out is objective number one. By the time you heard them out, their anger has probably come down because they've told the story. You have a better understanding of what the complaint is, and then it is using your skill about the whole process, systems and policies inside your organization to bring a solution to that problem. So sometimes people refer to this as the acknowledge, diffuse and refocus approach, where you first acknowledge the customer, diffuse the whole problem, then refocus on the issue with a lot more sanity to find a solution. Handling a customer can sometimes be tough, with a complaint that is, but it's also a gift. I consider it a gift because this customer could have easily switched to a competitor, not even told you about it, ignored the whole problem and gone to somebody else who could have given him service. But it takes time to come and tell you that there's something wrong, regardless of the emotion. If he's happy or sad, or he's neutrally telling you the complaint, or using furious words to tell you the complaint, he's taken time to come and tell you something that is wrong about your organization. Each and every one of those complaint instances need to be treated seriously and action taken upon. Yeah, it's a difficult thing, but if you handle that well, you get a lot of blessing that will follow.
Right. So you were talking about these customer moods, and sometimes they can be very furious and all. So what are the important things that you should consider when handling a customer complaint?
Yeah, what do you need to handle a customer complaint? Well, more large organizations have a team to do it, dedicated team to handle customer complaints. The more startup-like organizations, it's just one man or few men or women doing the whole process. So they juggle along a lot of balls, a lot of roles, and make it happen. Handling a complaint needs a few skills. If I'm to put it very formally, patience will head the list. You gotta need to handle a lot of patience, play around with a lot of patience, because the man on the other side with a complaint 9 out of 10 times is not going to be patient. He needs an immediate response. He needs a fast response. And if you don't have patience on the other side to listen to the story, acknowledge the situation, and slowly come back to what the real problem is, then you fail in step number 1, which is also the most important one. Second one, of course, is the analytical skill to figure out where the problem is, because some of the complaints can be very technical, some of them are very straightforward. The technical ones, it will take a observative mind to look into it deeply and find out what the issue is, then probably come up with a solution. Another one that people need to have in handling complaints sometimes is to negotiate. The ability to negotiate plays a key skill. Negotiate, in essence, what I do mean is communicate a message strongly to the other side. Sometimes it could be an issue with the organization. The complaint could be genuine. Sometimes there could be a situation where the customer is unhappy, but there's nothing wrong really in the organization's way of doing things. So it can take a bit of skill, ability to communicate a message strongly, to communicate well with the customer. In the instance of a complaint, giving the right message out firmly and making sure the message is accurate is key. So what would you need in handling complaints? Yeah, a lot of patience, ability to analyze the situation, come up with solutions, and that unique ability to communicate it correctly. That's what you need.
So you said that when you're handling a customer, you should have a set of skills, and you say that customer is king.
Absolutely.
But this is not an easy job, is it? So there should be challenges. So let's talk a bit about challenges in this contemporary world, where when you're handling a customer, what would be these challenges?
Well, yeah, you said customer is the king. Reminds me of another principle in terms of customer service. They say 2 rules of customer service. Rule number 1 is that the customer is always right. Rule number 2 is if the customer is wrong, refer to rule number 1, which in essence says the customer is always right, and that's how we treat our customers. In fact, if the customer has a problem, it effectively has to be a problem to all employees in the organization that gives him service. That's the extent we need to go into. I remember a quote by our CEO of the Axiata group. He said, every customer's problem is actually every employee's problem. Means to say that no employee should rest until solutions to all customer concerns are found. It is difficult, like you said, not because we are not competent to handle it, but customers have become more knowledgeable. Customers have more reach than ever before. They know what is available in the world, and they know what a service provider on average can give them. We live in the age of the internet, where everything is just a search away. So you say a certain technology is not available, it is technically not possible, it will take the customer a few minutes to Google that up and find out if it's actually possible or not. You wouldn't want to be in a situation where you say that something cannot be done to a customer, and he comes a few minutes later showing a case study of an organization that has done it in this part of the world or somewhere else. They're very knowledgeable now, so you can't give them any nonsense. You've got to be sharp, onto the point. Let it be a complaint or even a matter of a simple inquiry. You got to get your information right. Pretty much like the pressure the teachers go through these days. Run back about 10-15 years, the teacher can make a comment in the class, there won't be any question, because to refer or question the teacher, the students has to go back to a big textbook and go to page number 32, maybe find the answer. But today, that's not the case. Teachers have got to be very careful. They've got to make sure everything that they say is right, because students are sure going to Google it down 15 minutes after the class to find out if it was true or not. Pretty much the same thing that we go through. We've got to get it on point with our customers. We've got to make sure all the information is correct. And to do that, that needs all customer service people in any organization to raise their game. Be ready with any change the organization is going through. Be ready with the latest updates on your products or services, and up your game in terms of communication, the vocabulary that you can use, the techniques that you can use to deal with customers, and be skilled enough to do that job. So everybody dealing with customers, even the ones who aren't, need to up their game and be ready all the time in handling a customer in this day and age. That is what makes it difficult. That is what makes it challenging, rather. It's a good thing as well, because people in customer service need to up their game now and serve the customers the best way they can. It's a good thing. It is a challenge, but I see it as a very good thing. It will improve the whole service atmosphere in the country and the world that we live in.
So Ajmal, finally, what advice would you have for micro, small and medium enterprises, or any person in India? What advice would you have in handling customers?
In handling customers, well, the advice, I'll just keep it short to 2 points. One is about something that you said, treating your customer like a king. That will solve most of your problems in terms of customer service or customer experience. If you actually put that line into reality, treat your customer like a king. How would you treat a king? You'll probably give the king every possible respect that you can, and be very polite. Probably say yes to everything that the king wants, and very rarely would you give a no to a king. If you are able to do that in reality, then just saying that line with a customer, then your customer service problems are, I think, solved for good to a very great extent. The other thing is about keeping things simple. Now, this applies to anyone, could be a small organization or a large one or a startup, applies to everyone. It is necessary that they keep things simple. Customers these days don't want to put too much effort in getting anything done. Modern day and age says that customers prefer not to talk to anybody, but maybe type a few things to get their concerns. This is probably why organizations like Uber have a big demand all across the world, or similar apps, because the effort of use is very less. It's about just a few clicks and your taxi is here. You get in, go to your destination and continue to pay the driver even without speaking a single word. So ease of use becomes very necessary. Customers want things to be very simple. They don't want to go through a long journey to get their thing done. They'll want to maybe do it in a few clicks, or maybe one click anytime soon to get it done, because effort is something that the customers don't want to put to get service. Organizations should start thinking that way. How can they make their customer journeys very simple, the customer efforts minimum to get something done? So what are the skills that you need, or what is my say to people who are in customer service that they need to pick up is to keep things simple, and of course treat your customer like a king. Keep the processes simple, treat a customer like a king. You are probably on your way to success.
Right. Thank you, Ajmal, for joining with us today. That was a very insightful discussion. We talked a lot about customer handling. So again, thank you very much.
It's a pleasure talking to you, Hasara.
And let's meet again with another insightful discussion. Thank you.